Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning to all of you, to from wherever you are joining. So I welcome you all. We would be starting in another 2 minutes till the time more participants are logging in. Just give us a couple of minutes and then we'll get going. Okay, so let's get started. In the meantime, let people would be logging in. So thank you everyone for joining the session. This is Sheetal from Anamind. I take care of operations in Anamind. And today we would be covering a very important session and a very important topic, which is history correction post pandemic. So we had earlier done a webinar where we discussed about the history correction during the COVID times. And we have been doing a lot of webinars discussing how we can improve our forecasting process, how we can improve our forecast, how we can optimize our inventory, and what are the various parameters that goes into it. Today we would be discussing, as I said, a history correction post-pandemic. So that's very interesting. And we would be using Forecast Pro as one of the solutions to demonstrate the capability of correcting the history using the solution. So let's first talk about Anamind, and then we'll talk about Forecast Pro. So when I say talk about Anamind, we are a company all about business planning. We have been in the business for quite a long time now. We have been in the domain of planning space itself, and that's the reason we have three different verticals now, which supports the planning function. So the first is planning solution, the second is planning services, and third is planning education. So we have partnered with companies who with companies which are providing very good and very robust planning solutions. So these are world-class solutions from the advanced markets, and they support planning from starting from demand planning to supply planning to production planning, capacity, MRP, and it goes up till financial planning. So that's what these solutions actually support, depending on the requirement. That's for sure we suggest the solution. So the second is planning services, where we provide our services within the planning domain. So that's the other area where we work and provide our services. So we provide a lot of analytics reports related to planning. We create those reports and then analyze them further. We then have planning education, where we provide a lot of training programs. We have been consistently providing a lot of educational trainings, as well as the free webinars that you are now part of. So when we say planning education, so what exactly do we mean by that? So we have different courses available, both online as well as we do live classroom sessions. So we have business planning and forecasting related course. We have financial modeling and valuation course. So anything which is related to planning is where we basically focus on. And now we are in fact coming up with a very interesting concept, which surely we would be, letting you know about. It's a very interesting concept related to planning itself. So um, that's the most awaited thing that we have been working on for quite some time now. So now coming to the solution and capabilities, as I discussed, we would be using Forecast Pro today, and Forecast Pro can do demand planning and supply planning. Forecast Pro solution is one of our offering. We also have Streamline and Vanguard software from US. Let's focus on Forecast Pro for today. Forecast Pro is a solution from a company called Business Forecast System in Boston, US, and we are their representative in India and APAC region. So that's where we basically come across. Now let's talk about Forecast Pro. And Forecast Pro is a comprehensive forecasting and forecast management system. It's from Business Forecast System. The company has been there in business for more than 25 years now. They have been doing a lot of iterations in their modeling process. So the kind of models that have been picked up by the system automatically, they're very good. The kind of solution that Forecast Pro, it's basically an off-the-shelf software. It's used by companies across the globe, more than 35,000 users, more than 100 plus countries, and thousands of companies, of course, have been using Forecast Pro for quite a long time now. So it's more than 30 years now that the solution has been in making. And there have been a lot of improvements and enhancement along the way. In fact, Forecast Pro had won the M3 competition that was held quite some time back, and it's a global competition that organized, and Forecast Pro is one of the winner. Uh, so that gives the credibility in terms of the kind of modeling and the kind of forecast that we would be expecting from the solution, and how we can model those forecast that we get from the system is another great example, which we would be discussing in today's session. So when we say Forecast Pro, it includes whole range of forecasting models. These Forecast Pro specializes in new product forecasting and promotions, events, um, and collaboration, team forecasting. You can work on multiple unit of measures. So your sales team can work on revenue, your supply chain team can work on any of the other unit of measure, be it in units, quantity, weights, kiloliter, pallets, pad size, etc. So all that is pretty doable in Forecast Pro system. We can also track our forecast accuracy, forecast versus actual report, and we can customize those reports as well. So there's a waterfall chart that's very great. We also have a lot of other features, and let's discuss the forecasting models for the in the beginning. So it uses an expert selection, which indicates that the models are picked up automatically by the system. So there are various algorithms in the backend which come into picture, because of which the model is automatically selected by the system. So the model which gives the best result is based on the kind of rules that are set in the backend. Of course, the model gets selected based on the uh, data features or data components. So there are different types of models that are used in Forecast Pro. So the very commonly used model is exponential smoothing model. Then we have Box-Jenkins model. So these are time series model, pretty advanced model, of course. Then we also have dynamic regression, where we can regress based on the external parameters. If there is an impact of any external information which is impacting our sales, then we can of course make use of it, and that modeling technique is also available. We have promotional model, we have models for new product forecasting. Then we can also do bottom up, top down, or middle out forecast, which is really critical, and we would be definitely focusing on one of that item, on how we can correct the history as well as use top down approach. So all these different models are available. I'll not go into the detail. I would want to quickly jump to the main course of the section. But just before moving towards the session, let's look at the capability. So one of the important capability of Forecast Pro is automatic statistical forecasting. So that's where the best pick algorithm works and generates accurate forecast. And we also, as we had discussed previously, Focus Pro supports customized unit or multiple unit of measure and customized hierarchy. So we can flip the hierarchy, we can analyze, slice the information on the fly in the system. So that's very important. We also have a forecast accuracy tracking report where we can track the accuracy over a period of time just to check how the model has been performing. And that's what we call as waterfall report. So the other other capabilities of the system at a high level, it supports the supply planning capability to a large extent. It also helps us in modeling and what if scenario analysis. And there are a lot of heat map report available for exception reporting, and there is a seamless connection with the Excel as well. Uh, okay, so I'll not get into the details. Few of things we have already discussed, but it supports the SNOP process. So this is one of the important area where the system is widely used. So let's look at the scenario for today. So of course, as we said, Forecast Pro supports accurate forecast, and that's not just through the automatic selection that's in place. There are a whole lot of other values or other parameters that go into the modeling process to be able to correct the history. So one of these situations that we are going to discuss, or these are the few of the scenarios that we would be discussing in today's session. So one is COVID impact. So COVID low or COVID peak, as we call it. So for example, there could be a product which was impacted by, of course, almost all of our products were impacted by COVID. They could be impacted positively or they could be impacted negatively. When we say positively, it could be the essential products which were impacted positively. At least in the beginning, people started stocking the essential goods at their home, and that was the reason it kind of the sales went high for some time. And then when people realize that it's not going to go away, so there's no point. And of course, the government assured that there would be enough supplies in place, so don't panic, don't worry. And people had those products, people, okay, got normal. And that's the reason. So initially we would see in the data that there would have been a peak by maybe 70% increase or 150% increase in certain scenarios, and then slowly started declining, or it returned back to the previous state as it was before the COVID impacted. And then there could be scenarios where there was a low that those particular goods were not essential, and because of which the sales went down. It went down by quite a drastic margin. And once the lockdown opened up, lockdown restrictions were removed, the sales were normalized. So uh, this was the kind of event that we would have expected from say March till May or June, depending on what part of the country that or what part of the world we are, depending on which country we are in or our planning process is. So there could be certain specific time duration because of which we would have seen a drastic low or drastic high. Then there would have been an instance that what we call it as new normal now. So there were certain products which where the demand was totally changed in the sense that now we are seeing a new normal or post COVID normal. So what exactly do we mean by that? So in certain cases, there were certain products. For example, let's say there was beauty products, and especially or maybe formal office wear clothes, apparel industry, right? So since we are not going to offices now, and the number of people who are working from home has risen, so the kind of uh, demand that we have seen for the formal wear, it has gone sharply down. And at least during the first few months when the lockdown was there, it just went down drastically. And now we see that it is not going to return back to its normal state. So it has gone down and it's going to stay there for now. There could be a totally different scenario as well where the product such as sanitizer, uh, our behavior has totally changed. Initially, the demand definitely shot up, and then it kind of returned to normal, and it has become part of our habit, the hand sanitizer or the hand wash. So because now it is kind of ingrained, we have made it as a habit. Uh, so the usage of these products has automatically gone high, and because of which we see that there's a new normal high that is set in for these products. And of course then there are products which had a one time impact because of the lockdown, and the sales went down just one time and then it returned back to its original form, original how it was prior to the COVID. So let's look at these scenarios in the system and analyze it, how we can actually improve the forecast for such scenarios and how we can correct the history. So there are multiple ways of correcting history, and we will be discussing few of them today. So I'm going to take this example over here. So we have a product. uh, So what I've done, let me show you from the start. So we have taken the historical sales data in this part of the section over here. It's a pretty straightforward file with just the sales data for all the different products that we are managing. And we have also created certain helper file in the system just to check out how we can manage those events and scenarios. So when we have uploaded these files, the system is going to create a project with this kind of information. So I'm just going to collapse everything over here. Yes, so we have this company which has which has operations in India. The operations could be anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter for the system. But in this case, it's just an example over here where we have a company which it has operations in India, and it has business verticals, different business verticals. So we have chemical and paints, we have consumer goods, we have cosmetics, and then we have food and beverage. So these are the few of the product lines or different divisions that we have internally. So let's see how COVID has impacted these different scenarios. So I'm going to take a product which is chemical, and here is our product. So we have taken a product, part of chemical and paint. So when we look at the total chemical and paint level, we see that these sales had gone down starting from March till, okay, let me remove the picture line. So this green color line that we see is our actual sales of total chemical and paints. And the red color line is the forecast that is coming in from the system. That's the automatic forecast that the system is generating out of the information that we had fed in. So this is the forecast that the system is generated. And now we can pretty clearly see that this particular product line had an increasing trend. So there was slow and steady growth for this product over a period of time. And we see that the product also looks to be seasonal, that the sales go high in the month of Jan, which seems to be the case. And then there are certain depressions in the month of March. Let's look at YOY chart as well. And I'm going to remove the forecast and I'm just going to look at 3 years of history. So now we have this product, and we see that the green and the yellow and blue. So these are my historic data. So the blue color line, that is my recent history. And we can see from say February, the data looked pretty good. We had an increasing trend till February, but post February, when we move towards March, the data is we are seeing that there was a linear trend, linear increase in the data, but that's not the case when we look at March. March, there is a decline. And in April, there was further decline. Then in May, it was further decline. And finally, in June also, there was certain decline. But from July onwards, things set in. Businesses open, businesses resumed, and we are now back to normal. So this is the data that we are seeing for a particular business division. So now look at a product which is this is an chemical compound which is ethanol, and we are selling it in Chandigarh. This is one of the location where we are selling this product to. And when we look at this item, we can see that the data is pretty seasonal. That means that uh, the data is moving in the same direction each year. The patterns are same year on year. That's the very good indication of whether the data is seasonal or not. And in this case, the data is seasonal. So we have these ups and downs. And we can see from March onwards, it is declining. And from June onwards, it started picking up and it is back to normal. So how can we correct this data? So let me make this little higher, bigger. So I'm going to make a time series back again for our analysis. I'm going to switch on the forecast, and I'm also going to switch on the fitted line. So now when I switch on the fitted line, basically this red color line along with the green one is representing the fitted line. So what does fitted line over here indicates? It indicates that there is a when we use the same model that the system has selected, and we can look at the model details from here. So and through the experts analysis, system is selected an exponential smoothing, no trend, multiplicative seasonal data. But we are very aware that initially there was a linear trend, but because it kind of stopped in this part of the series. It's showing that it's no trend data. However, that's not the case, and we'll discuss on that as well. And we can see that when the system is using the same model for the backward casting, we see that the system has been able to predict quite accurately, at least till before Jan 2020. But post Jan 2020, there is a huge mismatch in the fitment of our forecast and the history. So this data is kind of disrupting our process. It's not giving us the result that we are expecting. So what can we do in such scenarios? And there is something called as manage event section within the system. So when we have manage event section, we have created these event codes, and these event codes are that when the first time the COVID stuck, COVID started spreading. We started, the first month when we actually saw an impact of COVID, that's our first COVID month one. Then in COVID month two. So the reason we are having these different uh, event codes is because the impact of COVID was slightly different in different months. It was not consistent because immediately when the lockdown happened, there was a lot of false information going in. People were not aware of how things are going to shape up. Businesses took immediate stand based on the kind of information that was available. And slowly, it kind of changed once they had better vision of how things would be shaping up. So, in different months, at least during the start 4 to 5 months, there was a whole lot of confusion that was going in. People were making assumptions, but now we are aware of how things are going to shape up. So now we are aware of it, but that was not the case in the beginning. So there are multiple ways where we can make the correction. So the first correction is by marking the historical data points as events. So we have this first month. What I've done, I've selected. Okay, so I'm not going to select February because in February we were not pretty aware whether there is going to be a lockdown or it is going to have an impact, at least in India or not. If in your country COVID stuck pretty early, maybe in Italy or something, then we can definitely use February and mark February as one of the COVID event. We're selected now February, sorry, March. And after March, we are now going to select April, and we are going to mark it as COVID-2. Uh, and similarly for month May, we are going to select COVID-3. The reason we are selecting over here, we can also look in the data that in March, we went really down. In April, we went further down because in India, there was absolute lockdown in April. However, in March, the lockdown happened in around 20th of March. So the sales were pretty normal, but from March onwards, the sales went bad and businesses stopped functioning. But in April, there was absolute lockdown, so there was really a very huge impact on the sales. In May, there was things started opening up. There was a lot of uncertainty during that time, but still the businesses were opened. And in if you want to mark June, because June also had certain still lingering impact of COVID, so let's do that. And I'm going to click on commit. And the moment I'm going to click on commit, you would notice that the system is going to start fitting in the data. And the fitment would happen because we are now providing the reasons of this impact that we had faced. And when we do that, you would notice that this forecast would also change. So that not only there would be a fitment, but also our forecast going forward. Because right now the system is thinking that this is the kind of impact we would be having next year as well. However, that's not the case, and we would not want to continue with that. So let me do that. Let me shape the event, and we notice that this time period has changed now. And also the fitment over here during this time period is pretty different. So there is a better fitment now that we see in the data. And of course, the forecast has also changed. Considering the seasonal nature of this product, we are seeing that the sales are going to go high in the month of October. Considering October is also a festive season in India. So we have, this is one of the way of correcting an item where we have seen a drastic uh, drop in the sale during the COVID time. So that's one of the event. We have a different event now, and this is an item where we see, which is laptop. So or smartphone, I'm sorry, this is smartphone, this is not laptop. So over here we have an item, and we see that the sales went high for smartphones, and that's very much the case when we look at the data or when we have been discussing with a lot of companies, especially the phone companies. um, you know the sales really went bad in the initial COVID month when there was absolute lockdown. But once the lockdown opened up, the sales went high, be it for smartphones or smart TVs or tablets, for laptops, everything was kind of sold out. And the reason for such thing to happen was because there was a lot of pent up demand that was created because of the COVID lockdown. And that's the reason we see that initially the sales went really high, and slowly it kind of moved back to normal. So this is a jump kind of scenario that we are seeing over here. Multiple ways of correcting it. One of the ways in which we can correct is of course through the event that we had created, which is a one time change, where we have created events for March, April, May, and June, and we can tell the system that this is not going to be repeated, because you're looking at, when we look at this particular data, the event is also getting repeated next year. However, that is not going to be the case going forward. So I'm going to commit that, and you would notice how things have changed for this item. So there was initially very high, and then slowly it's going down. So now as a business, we need to decide how we are going to look at the future. Are we expecting that the sale of smartphones or sale of laptops or any other such item, is it going to remain on a high or is it going to go down? So if it is going to go down, maybe event might not be the good scenario to be able to apply over here. So I'm going to just remove the modifier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a waits file, and I'm going to tell the system that there is going to be a one-time peak, post which it's going to normalize. Both event and one-time peak is having a different impact. And so let me talk about this waits over here and how it works. Let me show you the wait file. So where we have created different waits option, and we are giving weights to our history, and we are telling the system that for the month of from September, so this data is available from September 2016, and from September 2016 till Feb 2020, our sale is normal. Our sale is 100%. So whatever history that we have, it is 100% of what we had expected. In March also we were pretty good in this case, but in April the sales went down. And then when slowly the markets opened, the sales went drastically, sales went high in March. And since this lockdown was happening slowly, and smartphones or smart TV, they were not an essential product. So of course the sales were really bad in the month of April. But in May, the sales went really high. In June, it really went high, and in July also we expected very high sales. But from August, we are expecting that this sales would go back to normal, and they would be normal, just like how we had before COVID had started. So that's what the system is doing. System is telling, or system is adjusting the history in the back, that for all these periods up till March, we had normal sales. But from April, we had very low sales. In fact, the history is zero, so it's not even 10%. Uh, in from May, slowly things started opening up. And in July, the sales went high. In June, the sales were really high. But from August, the sales returned, and it is kind of very evident when we look at the data as well. And going forward, this is how the forecast is adjusted. So the pattern over here is quite different than the, if I just remove the modifier, then how it would show up, because we are not providing those insights into the system. So it's telling that there would be absolute no sale in September, and there would be some erratic, data that would be fed in. So let's not do that. Let's correct the history, make it normalized, and then work upon it. So that was another way of correcting the history. We have a different scenario over here. So where we have a product, and this is a moisturizer product. Of course, moisturizer was not an essential product, so there was absolute no sale in the month of April. And also it was slightly low in the month of March. But once the lockdown opened up, the sale went normal. So we see that this kind of decline we are also expecting in the, if we just continue using the system, we are going to expect in the forward periods of March and April. And we do not want to have that. So we are going to create an event. We are going to create a COVID month 1 event. We are going to create a COVID month 2 event. And we'll just simply mark these 2 time periods as our history correction. When we do that, and when I go in the system, you would notice that there is something called as, or let me open the forecast report. And let me show you over here. So there are 2 event code that we had selected, and the system is telling that the indexes for these events are -1442, and for the second month, which is the April month, is -2449, indicating that because for the impact of COVID in month 1 resulted in decline of sale by 1,442 units, and the impact of COVID in month 2 resulted in a decline of sale by 2449. So this is what the system is calculating on its own in the back end, determining what was the impact in terms of absolute units. And that's very interesting because it would be really difficult to calculate that number if we do not have this kind of information in place. That's one of the another important insight that we get out of the system. Uh, we have a very interesting scenario over here where I'm just going to remove all the modifiers just to show you how generally any system would behave. So we have a product which is laptop, or we can consider a phone as well for that matter. So we have a product, and we see that there are different SKUs in different time periods. There was this SKU which was available in 2017, early 2017, and then there was a product which the second SKU was launched in early 2018 or late 2017, but it was just available for a very short duration. And then because there are a lot of enhancements that happen in these products, there are different kind of event pattern that we see. So we know that this product was discontinued. We also know that this product was also discontinued, and similarly this product was also discontinued. And what we also get to know is that this product was also discontinued from now onwards. And now when we move to laptop, there is no absolute sale. So what we're trying to do, we are telling the system that use this entire history to generate the forecast and apply to the new product. So I'm going to do it top down. So in top down, we now see that the forecast is slightly on a higher scale. And it honestly is indicating that the system is using all the history which is there for all these items which were discontinued. It's aggregating the history and then generating the forecast at a higher level, and then slowly disaggregating that forecast to all the items below. So now when I go to this item which has absolute no history, so there is no history, but then there is a forecast which is coming in, and that forecast is because of the pattern that the system has identified from the rest of the SKU's history. However, when we look at this data, it's not very um, good forecast for us. We are we because it was laptop and there was huge demand of laptop during the initial times when at least post lockdown, there was a huge demand. And the demand was because when we started working from home, the kids started working from home, staying at home and attending schools or colleges. And that's the reason the sale of laptops went high. And that lead to a very high demand in the beginning. But we are aware that it is not going to be the case moving forward. So when we look at the weights information, possibly depending on, we can create these different weights. We have also created a weight of a new normal high or in one time peak or one time low, depending on what we want to take. So we have adjusted the history. We have told the system, say for example, in the one time low, we have the history which is very low in the beginning and then slowly it normalizes. Or a new normal which is low, we have reduced the history by the certain amount, and now we are telling that it is going to be forever 60% of what we had originally planned. And in this case, it's going to, which is new normal high, we are expecting a very high sale going forward, which is, we are expecting a 20% consistent increase in the sales going forward because there is the new normal, new demand that is coming. So in this case, we have, this product, and we are expecting that the product is going, so this is just a one-time behavior and it's not going to continue. We can mark them as events. So I'm going to select a one-time change. I'm also going to select July. I'm going to say this is month 5. And I'm going to commit it. So When I mark this as event, system is of course going to calculate what would be the additional sales that we have got from this product. So let's go and check here. In this case, we have an additional sales. Uh, so there is a reduction. Sorry, there is a reduction in sale at least. Yeah, because in the first 2 months, the first 3 months the sales were really down because COVID lockdown was there and this was not an essential product. So we see that there is a reduction in sale by 164 units or 425 units in the second month. Third month we had a reduction in sale by 240 units, and then it increased by additional 210 and 274. So in month 4 and month 5th, we are seeing a very high sale, and the sale is in additional of 200 units or additional of 270 units. However, this does not seem to be the desired scenario for us. And for that reason, I'm just going to remove the modifier for once and I'm going to do it top down again. Yeah. So for those scenarios, we have the weights option. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell the system that this is just a one-time peak and it's not going to continue going forward. And when I do that, we can see that my forecast, which earlier was coming to be around this much, has dropped down, and it is very similar to what we had expected before COVID stuff. So there's a different forecast which we are going to expect going forward from now. So that's how we can make use of adjusting our historical weights and correcting the forecast going forward. We also have this product where we see that there was the product was selling on a normal level, but now we are expecting the sales to decline. So there is a new normal that is set in, a new normal of very low sales. Initially, the sales went really low, and now we are expecting a decline in sales by 30 to 40% because of the COVID new normal. And this is a product which is foundation, since things are basically not really open even now. So we are expecting the sales to remain low for these products. And what we have to do is just right click and select the new normal low. And when I do that, automatically it's going to reduce the forecast by the margin that we have selected. So this is the kind of pattern that we would be having a look at. So we have this other product which is very interesting, because over here we see a very high sale in when the COVID stuck, and this was an essential product. It was a food item, so it was a really essential product, or it could be sanitizer, which is also an essential product. So because when the COVID stuck, the demand increased, and because our habits changed, and we are now staying at home more than what we were doing before the COVID time. So we are expecting that the demand, we are buying more of that product, which earlier was either provided by our company or, we never thought very important, but now it's slightly different. The scenarios are slightly different. So we are expecting that this new normal is going to remain, it's going to continue. And that's how when we look at this graph over here, we see that the level has shifted up for these products. And that's the reason we have told the system in this Excel file that the history is going to be really high. It's going to be increasing by 120% in the going forward in the normal course of time as we move forward. So when I look at this particular item, what I can do is I can right click and select the new normal high, and you would notice that the fitment would change, and also this history would also change. So we can now see that the fitment has changed, and it is going to have a slightly different pattern going forward. So these are few of the ways. Of course, I've not covered in whole all the different scenarios. So there is option of just looking at outlier report, correcting those outliers, marking events is what we discussed. We also discussed about how we can correct the history using the weights and then letting the system work out the model values and generate the forecast. So this is in a sense, we wanted to cover different scenarios of history correction and showcase the capabilities over here. We can also definitely take into consideration certain external parameters if there are, and use dynamic regression. Currently, that's not available in the system. But if, say, any external information is impacting and impacting our sale, and in those cases, it would make sense for us to incorporate those information in our example, in our forecast modeling, and generate better results. So overall, this was what we had wanted to showcase. If you have any question, do feel free to ask me or put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask the questions. I would be happy to answer them for you, or else we can then close the session. Or you can also write to me at any time on the you can directly write to me at sheetal@anamine.com. The spelling is SHEETAL. Or you can write to hello@anamine.com, and the queries would be transferred to me, and I would be able to help you out in any of your queries. All right. So these are few of the testimonials, or I would just want to show you the kind of industries that Focus Pro has been, dealing in. So these are the different industries in which the system had been implemented across the different revenue size companies across the industries. It's very capable system, very advanced. All right. So thank you so much for joining the session today. I hope you really liked the session. Thank you so much for participating. Have a good day. Bye-bye.